we took major steps forward. On the offensive side of the ball, we kind of perfected some of our technique and fundamental things, and we had a good week of practice last week, so I think we took a couple steps forward.
What's it like getting a couple days off?
You gotta love a couple of days off. You get to kick back and relax. Especially with the schedule we have. Coach Sean keeps us on a pretty tough schedule, and he works us pretty hard. So, every now and then when we get a couple of days off, we like to enjoy it.
Did you watch football?
I did. I watched football most of the weekend.
Which games did you watch?
Say it again.
Which games did you watch?
I watched the West Virginia game, and I watched a little bit of the UCF in South Carolina.
How much do you compare your team to the teams you're watching? So I think what you could do against teams.
I find myself doing that a lot more now, considering playing and being in the season. I find myself doing that a lot. I don't really, base other teams off what we do, because we are our own team. So, I kind of look back and most of all watch personnel, especially with Central Florida, considering that we're going to play them. So, I just kind of watch personnel mostly. So I don't really compare the two teams.
In a week like this, when you're favored over a team, how many times do you hear from the coaches, stay focused, or don't worry about anybody else, just think about Temple, those kind of things?
You hear it every day. One thing they try to make sure we do is just stay humble and stay hungry. That's our slogan around here. And one thing that I think our team, we kind of got that in our minds that we're not the best team. We got to keep working. There's things that we got to continue to get better on, and that's mostly how we approach this game. Because we're going to play a good football team this weekend. We got to make sure that we are on top of our game. So.
Is it hard to stay humble when you come like 72-0 victory?
No. It was a pretty good win. It was a lot of things that we did right, but then there was things that we did wrong. So for the most part, we try to focus on the things that we did wrong and polish those things up, and just try to continue to go forward.
Well, I don't know how much you ever really go against them because you guys are both on the first team, but what do you think about how difficult Brandon Dunn is to block, and maybe what he does for the defense line?
Brandon Dunn's a good player, and what he brings for us up front on the defensive line is experience. He's going into four-year player for us, so he's a really good player, and he's a big guy that can move. And that gives a lot of people problems, especially in the inside, when you have an active guy like Brandon Dunn. So he is a good player, and sometimes it is hard to block him. I don't personally go up against him very much, but I talk to some of our guards, and they say he is a tough guy to block. That's pretty good.
How different is Teddy now? It seems like a couple times you see where there's a penalty on the offensive line, and he'll be up in your face. I don't know that we saw that before. Is that different about him this year?
Yeah. Teddy holds us as an offensive line to a high standard. Certain things that he expects us not to do, which is foolish penalties, like false starts and stuff like that. So, anytime we get some of those penalties, he kind of gets in your ear a little bit and makes sure that you stay focused. And we don't want any self-inflicted wounds. So he makes us pretty aware of that.
How much does that add to? You don't want to hear from the coach, but do you really not want to hear from Teddy?
Yeah. His approach to it makes it easy. He doesn't really, kind of chew you out or anything, but he kind of motivates you to not be that guy making those foolish mistakes. So, it's pretty easy to hear from him rather than hear from the coach.
As a line, how do you feel about how you guys have progressed so far this year? How well did you think you played last week or 2 weeks ago?
As an offensive line, I feel we made tremendous steps forward. Coming into the season, we had big questions about who's going to be the right side. And coming into the season, we had a couple of guys battling for the positions on the right side. And, once we got in the season, I felt like that we, those guys stepped up, and Ryan Mack, those guys stepped up, and we made tremendous steps forward. And 2 weeks ago in our performance, we played good. You know, there's things that we need to work on. Of course, we gave up a sack, which is something that we, try not to do. That's our biggest goal. But for the most part, I feel like that we're making tremendous strides forward.
What do you have to do to improve?
Up front, it's all about communication. You know, we have to make sure that we are communicating and we're all on the same page as a unit. You know, if any one guy's out of the loop and doesn't know what's going on, then that could lead to a lot of mistakes. You know, so we just try to make sure that we stay communicating with each other.